All right, we're back. I just had my swap meet, my yard sale swap meet, sold a zillion things, sold a couple of project frames, gave away like 10 frames, huge free box piles, got rid of it. If you watched my last video, I sort of went over all that stuff and showed a bunch of pictures of it. Decided I wasn't going to buy any more stuff. We got too much stuff. We got to get rid of stuff. Ended up going to salvage sales anyway, so could not help myself. It's like, well, I definitely won't buy another frame or bike. This was there. Someone else got it first. It was a little too rusty and crusty for him. This looks like a bad repaint that's been chipping. There's a crack around this lug right here, which could just be the bad paint, or it could be this bike was slightly frontaled. It didn't bow the tube at all, but it might have bowed a little bit, or it does feel like maybe it's bowed a little teeny bit. It might have bent a little bit and then bent back. I think it's fine, especially for a rusty, crusty fixed gear, which you know I love building out of nice old race bikes. If it was a nicer shape, I probably wouldn't do that. I'd probably build it up. It's a Pinarello. I think it's repaint. I think those are aftermarket decals. But it's got like the real little GP here and then the fork crown. It's got the badge. I think it's a real Pinarello. It doesn't feel super light, and it's weird. It's got campy dropouts, but it's got eyelets. And that seems weird for an old race bike. So I threw some dummy axles in. We're going to take the old Han Rossmann tire checker. And kind of the smallest one is a 34, which is ridiculous. I mean, there's a 23, but that's ridiculous. So I'm going to check this frame. This 34 clears no problem up here. Wouldn't be able to do fenders. It's a little tight down here, a couple millimeters. It's plenty of room up here. Got more than a 1/4 inch on each side there. Plenty of room on the top. I think this bike can definitely do 732s. It might be a little fat in the back of the bottom bracket. Maybe 28 would be better. But I think you can do it. 732 is my favorite size for 700s. It does have some tire rub down here. Someone's rubbing an outer true wheel. Someone's buzzing this side. Went through the paint a little bit. The metal looks alright. It's flat though. It's still holding its shape. Here's a wheel I've been saving for a different project that I'll get to someday. And it's got 732. It's flat, but it's really holding its shape. It's a hard Continental gator skin. Tons of room. It's so weird. I really expected this bike to be like 723s only until I saw these eyelets. It's a weird Pinarello. It must be like a lower end one or a road bike or a training bike one. But I say we start this project. Pretty sure the back's 126. Yeah, 126, 127. Let's get an idea how straight this frame is. So touching the head tube, touching the seat tube, come out and touch the dropout. So it's about even. Alright. It's too crusty for me to make into a road bike. It's a lot. It's my size too. If I make this a single speed, it's got to go up for sale. But all that black Originate stuff with white logos would look pretty good on this. Even though I think Originate stuff is real cheesy, people are starting to think it's nice. I could build this bike with cheesy modern stuff. The 130 space wheel guy goes in real easy though. God, there's room, barely, for a 32, barely. Should I build this bike up with cheesy silver stuff? It's Italian though. I don't know. I say we stick to the plan. First part of that plan. Now it's 126. I gotta find a better way of doing this. The 2x4 through the frame method works pretty good. I got one upstairs. Maybe I should grab it. Pinching cheap frames is pretty easy. Pinching high quality frames can be a little tricky. So here's part of a 2x4 I found in a neighbor's trash pile the other day. Let's see if I can remember how to do this. Come in real wide, stick it back on the back dropout. Hoping you don't dent the seat tube. tighten this into my body so I can pull both arms on this side. Oh, that went. Which is always the problem. The drive side has an internal dimple and an external dimple. Ooh, mingle the two a teeny bit. So it's double dimple. This side's only got one dimple, so this side bends a lot easier. Oh, that came in like centimeters. Oh, and this side didn't move at all. Now we're at like 110. Push this side back out a little bit. Still a lot. Still like a centimeter on this side. What are we at? We're almost 120. What I want is 120 for single speed spacing, but I'd like it to be even. But if it's off a few millimeters, if this side's out 3 millimeters and this side's in 3 millimeters, it doesn't really matter. A few millimeters is totally acceptable in the rear end. Fork's got to be real straight. Oh, this is saying it's in now. Oh, no. We're right at 120. Am I willing to mangle this frame even more in the name of getting it perfectly aligned? No, I'm not. We're at 120. Both sides only had to come in 3 millimeters. That means this side came in like 5 or 6. This side probably came in like 1 or 2. We're going to call it. It's going to be fine. It's probably straighter than this frame was from the factory. Cool. Cool. I mean, I could keep bending it over and over, but, take that soda pop can, crack that tab open, go back and forth 2-3 times, then go back and forth 5 or 6 times, watch it snap right off. Rather have it be off. 3 or 4 millimeters. You'll never notice. It'll track totally straight. Don't bend this metal any more than I need to. We're going to put in the old dropout alignment tools, so you can get cyclist version of these cheap. You can make these with some 10 millimeter bolts and a couple nuts. Bend them yourself. What we're really trying to do is get these dropouts straight with each other. Got them tightened in. The cups are touching, and they look like this. So I just need to tweak these dropouts so that everything is lined up. That way you don't put weird pressure on your bearings and burn out your hub bearings too fast. And I mean, it is real close. It is real close. And now it's perfect. And only a couple bends, same thing. You don't want to go back and forth 20, 30 times trying to get them perfect. You want to get them real close with 1 or 2 bends. Sick! Oh, I was about to say I skipped the most important part again, which is making sure this seat post isn't frozen in place. But look at that, it's moving. The bolt's loose. It's like they were going to take it out and didn't. I'm hoping it's 27.2. I think I have several gloss black 27.2 posts. That spike's scruffy and my parts are like too clean for it. It'll be alright. This bolt's real loose. I think this post is over tightened. These are some like reverse pliers. Reverse pliers. These were $15 maybe at like a really good hardware store. Go find them. They're perfect for stuff like this. Put it between the ears of the seat post. Give her a little squeeze. Open that up. People are always over tightening posts that are too small. One of my friends was in here looking for a post that was too small for a bike and he knew it, but he didn't want to open it up. He just wanted to squeeze in the wrong size post. And I was just like, dude, everybody, even good bike mechanics, just do everything wrong. Don't do stuff wrong, man. This is a kind of taller SR LaPrade. These posts are, kind of a dime a dozen and no one really cares, but I care. The right thing for old treks and stuff. Oh, it's a 27.2, alright. Well, alright. I'm gonna wipe some of the grime out. Just setting it, I'm gonna grab a gloss black 27.2, shoot some fresh grease in there. 26.8, you son of a bitch. I thought I had some gloss black seat posts. This one's a little bit more matty, but it's still pretty bright. I got it at salvage sales. I probably only paid a couple bucks for it. I want gloss black. I guess I'll just put this old SR back in for now. We're just going to leave this SR in for now while we do the build, and I might stick that sort of matte black one in, or I might keep an eye out. Maybe next Sunday I'll find a gloss black one. We're digging around. Got a 26.8 gloss black one. Had a 27.2, but just sold it on eBay's. Alright, what's next? We should probably pull this fork off, overhaul this headset, and make sure that fork's aligned. My little alignment checker. I think I'll pull the bottom bracket out and overhaul it as well, because why not? I got the cranks here. I probably got a brake. I got a bar. I might have a stem. I'll dig around. I got the wheels in my storage unit. I won't go clean that out anyways. So we'll do that too. Alright, I pulled the fork out, threw my little Park Tools alignment jig I've showed in other videos, and fork's totally straight and nice. The headset was pretty clean. It's a specialized English headset. But it seems to be on here and working and clean and nice. Put some fresh, clean it up, put some fresh grease in. I did notice the top of these threads are cut. I'm wondering if this frame had a minor accident that bent the fork, and they went out and found the correct fork in a larger size and cut it down to fit. Who knows? But it definitely has too many spacers in, so I'm going to do my fun thing. Since we're going to mismatch this little chrome on the bike, chrome headset, maybe I'll use a polished silver C-post, who knows. I'm going to go polish black polish. I didn't like the original keyed washer, so I'm going to try a different one. Hopefully it works better. The other one seemed to slip right through the threads. And this one is too big to work, okay? Never mind. Yeah, this one's got the file keyed down. Maybe someone it doesn't look hand filed. I don't know. Someone just filed this down because it didn't fit very well. Whatever. So got polished silver, got me a black, got me a polished silver, and that's probably about it. Let's see, there's about 4 or 5 threads left. Come on, brother. That's perfect. I think this will tighten down. And I still have, this is supposed to have an O-ring in there. It's missing. Maybe I'll see if I have one, another headset or something. But before it was like bottomed out where the top of this nut, the inside, was touching the top of the steer tube. That's no bueno. It means that the headset's going to tighten against the steer tube, not against its own adjustment, which means it will usually come loose. Although this one was very tight. I also went ahead and just sprayed this frame down and wiped it off with a rag. I like that. One little black headset spacer. Ooh, pretty. Makes it look overhauled, makes it look modern, fun build. Boom. All right, we'll do the actual adjustment of this on the ground. Probably take these guys off. People don't like those posts on there. I've seen guys just unthread the barrel adjusters out of these shift tube adapters and just put them on upside down, so the hole's to the bottom and you can't really see it. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll just put a little bolt in there, just the bolt back in to sort of hide them and finish them off. I don't know. Alright, so I overhauled the bottom bracket. The shell says Pinarello on it. It's also got a specialized bottom bracket, which is interesting, so the headset was weird. So specialized bottom bracket. These look like they're from the 80s. It's definitely Italian. This side was tight. I hammered on it a few times. Getting an Italian thing loose and then getting it retied again in a second, so a waste of time. So I just cleaned it from this side and reloaded it, and it was a nightmare. The specialized bottom bracket cup has like an extra shelf. So you keep thinking you have to put it on one shelf, but it's really up higher and it's hard to see when it's covered in grease. So I was like, well, if this works, I took the whole frame down and put it on its side and got the light in there, and I was like, oh, okay. It also had 10 bearings on one side and 9 on the other, which is goofy. Usually go by the 10 method for bikes. T for 10, E for 11, N for 9, the number of bearings in a free ball system. This one really looks like it takes 9. It looks like you could get that 10th one in, but then it'd be a little too tight and a little squished. That's usually how old free bearings are. You need to make it look like it's full, then take one out. So I ended up putting 9 on both sides because I dropped one down inside. So that worked out great. I'll do my final adjustment once the cranks are on. These are the cranks I'm planning on using. They're 165s, which is ridiculous. This is a big bike, 46 tooth, whatever. It's more track-like, bro. 165s. It should just be regular old square taper. I mean, this might be ISO or something. ISO specialized Italian thing for post 94. Was it 94 or 2004? I remember it's post 94 can't be cranks or ISO, but everyone refuses to believe that. Even if you say it to their face 3 times, you show it to them in writing. They all think that all can't be cranks, all ever for the history of time, including Nova Record, are all ISO. It's not true. It's only modern ones. Don't worry about it. You can press old ISO cranks onto a JAS spindle and makes them seem like brand new again. So you can just swap the spindle. You can put a JIS on anything. I think a JIS will go a little too far onto an ISO, but if that was the case in this case, I think that'll be a good thing. So I'm using the 115 road double bottom bracket. Put the short side on this side, which is probably the way it was before. Trying to get these cranks in as far as possible. You want about a 42 millimeter chain line from the center of this tube to the chain ring, and right now it's right in the middle like it would be on a road double. You don't want to suck in. We haven't tightened it down yet. It might suck in a millimeter or two. Sometimes they suck in 0 millimeters. Sometimes they suck in 4 millimeters. I have to tighten it down and hope that it's like 42, 43. It might be up to 45. That's probably fine. Went to my part stash and got a couple little 8 millimeter crank bolts. If you don't have these, you can order them off eBay for $4 or $5. It ain't no big deal. Just take an 8 mil Allen. We're gonna press them on and hope it works out the way we want. That's one of the nice things about these old style cup and cone bottom brackets is that the spindle's asymmetrical. It sticks out more on one side than the other usually. So you can always flip the spindle over if you need to sometimes and solve your problems. But usually it's the non-drive that's the longer one to get your other crank out of the way more because there's no chain rings and stuff. Doesn't need to be as tucked in and things. That is pressed on about all the way. Looks like about as far as it can go. And it definitely looks like it's more like 45. 45, 46. It's way too wide. A narrow bottom bracket would be better. Probably like a 110 or something. This could really come in 4 or 5 millimeters. I might look and see if I have a really narrow Italian bottom bracket. I might also just bolt it all up and put the chain line checker on and see if it's really that bad. And this side is in more than the other side. This is out more. It might give you kind of terrible chain line. It's 3/32. If I put an 1/8 inch chain on it, it's going to be able to shift over a little bit more. It might be a little noisy. It doesn't really matter. I don't want to get this old specialized Italian bottom brackets and they're so tight out. So it's probably fine. Ooh. I just sort of guesstimated the tightening it down and it feels, oh, there's a tiny bit of play. All right, I got the cranks on. I got the side cinched down, got the other crank on. They feel like a few millimeters too wide. I bet it'll be fine. Honestly, if I was using a slightly smaller ring, I'd probably put it on the inside. That'd probably give me exactly the chain line I want. Nothing's ever right, especially with modern cheapy parts for fixies instead of actual track bikes. Nothing fits right. This is really a road crank set with a single speed ring. Now I have this black Originate stem. It's kind of scuffy too. It's kind of short. It's a 70, and it's a pretty big bike. It's like a 59, 58. I could go with a longer stem, especially with the riser bars, but you know, that's all the black matchy stuff. The black bars I have though are like too clean. I have some silver Originate bars. I thought that would look good, but then I put them in the stem and it was loosey-goosey. This is an old chunk of handlebar that was 26.0, and so I cut it out as a tester. So this stupid Originate stem is 26.0 for reasons. I don't like shims. I don't think they're legit. I'm not going to put shims in. I hate shims. I only use them very begrudgingly. So I think I'm not going to use this stupid originate stem now too. Why? Why? Why, goofy stem? I do have this originate stem in silver. I also just have some gloss black stems that are generic. We gotta look. Okay, so what's we got? I got a silver originate stem with the silver originate bar. It's a long stem, but that's good on a big bike. This is probably the way to go. The bar is in a lot better shape. This isn't so shiny anymore. The bar is still real nice. Could always do the stem. What's this say? It's not a 26.0 as well. That's definitely 25.4. That's tight. We got very gloss black vintage stems. Also kind of short, kind of medium. It's gloss black. It's barely scuffy. Feels a little bit loosey-goosey on this bar. It would look good on this gloss black bar. It could look real good. Sometimes I got too many options. I'm gonna try my old 26.0 checker. Nope, not even close to fitting. You think 25.4 and 26.0 are real close. The stems, they make for them real thin, but try and put this 26.0 bar into a 25.4 stem, that is like not happening. I've also got like this guy. And it's more of a flat black profile designs. They show removable faceplate, kind of ugly, kind of modern, kind of medium length. It's got the theme of the black and the white. It is not gloss black, but that would help match the seat post better since it's a flat black. Tough decisions. I do not feel like I like this one at all, though. At least it's definitely 25.4. I don't know, we got a little silver, we got a little stuff. I like the black on black. I'm thinking maybe keep the originate theme going. Originate silver stem and bar. I don't know. It like kind of doesn't match. It kind of does match. Also, this bar is really fat. It's like 25.4, like almost the whole way. It's really dumb. I'm gonna have to take this bolt all the way out. Originate, get your shit together. Not a chance. We could use a removable faceplate stem, that bar. This bar is just so nice. I do have some crustier bars in order to stand out from being too shiny and nice. Agonizing over things that don't matter and I'm not ever going to think about again or care about. I think these stems are so ugly and I can definitely sell them easier on eBay because they're removable faceplates for people who don't have taste. Here's what the stem looks like, so it's easy to work on. I can go this medium glossy stem and then the originate bar. Maybe, probably. I do like this one. It's glossy and just a little scuffy, but just barely. It's pretty hot. And again, so fat. Bro, what a bad design. Such a bad design. Alright, this bar is out unless we go removable faceplate. I do kind of like this bar. It's kind of a brighty, silvery enough. It kind of looks good with the chrome. It's not any whiter than this gloss black bar. And now this means I can get away with the silver seat post if I want. I want to use the original one, do something a little more modern looking. F it, man, we're going for it. We're going for it. I'm in. I do have this black Tektro to a gloss black Tektro with brand new pads. Someone set it up on a bike and then never rode it. Or changed the pads and then never rode it. It's kind of huge though. It's definitely a front recessed nut. That's the front recessed nut. I don't know if it'll reach the wheel. Kind of wanted a black and silver lever. Let's see if this will even fit stuff. I'm just gonna set this brake on here. Get set, bro. I'm just going to throw any random 700C wheel on the one we were just using earlier, just to see if it'll fit. Left. This cable is way too long. Like for a cruiser bar or something. So, well, that's fine. It's easier to cut down this cable, and I can cut down this housing a little bit, and if I pull it all apart, I can go get a silver lever. This lever is way too fat anyways. Sure, I have a bunch of silver and black tech screws. Maybe with the pads all the way down, kind of in the middle right now. Nope, not a chance. This thing needs a legit medium reach brake. 3 or 4 millimeters too high. Good to know. Ooh, I found this one, which is one I kind of thought, I was thinking I wanted before and then forgot about it. But it is a Diacomp BRS 101. Way more fixie, gloss black, slightly crusty. It's got brand new pads on it as well. This is way more up this bike's alley, and I think it measures several millimeters longer than the old one. Swap the spacer. And this dude on. Like, so much cooler. Come on. All the way down. Ooh, barely, man. Can you go down more? This one seemed like it was a lot longer. Barely, but yes, it's definitely below on this side, below the lip of the rim, and 100% on braking surface only. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, this Diacomp, no problem. Totes chill. Totes. Everything's free, everything looks good. It reaches. God, this bike really does have room for fenders, even with 32s. Well, I got this. It is not gloss black. Just hurts my feelings a little bit. It's a single left, 2-finger. Be real cool for this. Be cooler if it was gloss black. This is my bag of mismatched and single cross tops. Here's a gloss black Cane Creek. It's a Diacomp. Ugh. Tektro. This is kind of what I was thinking. Gloss black and silver Tektro. Way too big. Way too big. Uh-oh, way too big. Yeah, none of these are going to be 22 too, right? None of these are going to be 22 too. Unless there's something real weird made for this. Like this one. Huh. It's a junky silver one. Which is also definitely for the wrong side. It's 22 too. Let's keep testing. No, these are all really for road drop bars. They're all really like 23.8. Or some of them even for 26.0 and 25.4 if we're getting way up too close to the bar clamp. That was 31.8. So none of these, except for this garbage one with the wrong bolt. It's for the wrong side. Although on my own personal bikes I often run the wrong side front, especially since there is no rear. Or I could run this 2-finger. Or we could look to make sure I don't have anything else stashed. I do have an extra, I have 3 lefts, only 1 right, these FL750 levers. And I do like these a lot. They're very stoppy. Maybe it's a shame I just gave away all my mismatched brake levers, because probably could have used one here. So it goes. This one is missing its bolt, so I'm going to go see if I can find a bolt that's all the right things. We're back. It's been a day since I worked on this last. Had to go to my storage unit and grab the wheels. So these are some Originate hubs to Originate Deep V style rims with some Continental Gator skins. They're like brand new. It's got a little bit of brake track wear, but not really. I mean, it's like barely, it's not even through the paint. So the aluminum's like still brand new. If you watch my videos, I got these at a garage sale last summer, I think. Some guy bought these brand new and put them on some crappy old 70s low-end Nishiki. And like maybe it had a Technomic stem or something on it too. He was trying to sell it, no one would buy it. It's like the last day of the garage sale, I offered him $40. And he's like, yeah, whatever, I get rid of these. $40 for these wheels. I think I sold the stem for like 30. I might have sold a few other parts off of it, because the frame of the recycling. And these wheels have a single speed cog, but no fixed cog. So we gotta do that. 1, 2, 16, 17. 17. I have a 18 tooth, 3/32 fixed cog. I have a few lock rings. Some of the stuff ought to work. I went online to like an online gear ratio calculator. And my old favorite when I was a kid was 42/15. It was actually too hard, so I like sort of switched to 42/16. I thought that was a really good gear ratio. It felt really normal and nice. So I went and checked with this 46. And a 46/18 would be just a little bit easier than a 42/16, so that's probably about perfect. I played with a few other numbers to sort of see, what would be harder, what would be easier, what would be about the same. It only gives you 8 skid patches on the back as opposed to 9 with the 42/16. I remember calculators came out in the early 2000s and kids were so obsessed with them because you could dial in your gear ratio. You can get the same gear inches, so it feels as hard. You can spin as fast with different size ring and cog combinations and get the most skid patch. I think you get like 17 skid patches with one combination. So every time you do a skid, it wears out a little spot on your tire. So if you only have 3 skid patches, you're hitting the same 3 spots every time, no matter what, because you're always skidding on your right foot. You have the same gear ratio. So you could switch it up so you can get 17 skid patches and make your tires just last a million times longer. So they say. I've burnt through a zillion old back tires. I don't really remember any of them having way more worn spots and way less worn spots, but whatever. I don't know. First thing we're going to do is get this cog and stuff on. So the freewheel side is a thick bunch of regular threads for a freewheel. You put a single speed freewheel on. If you had room, you could put a multi-geared freewheel. You can thread kind of whatever you want on. The fixed side is different. So the fixed side is a 2-step. So these threads are bigger and these outer threads are smaller. So you can thread on your fixed gear lock ring. Do it very gently. These are very fine threads. They're very big and awkward. Threading this dude on. I want to see how it fits. I want to go all the way on, bottom out. I don't want there to be any lip here. It needs to hang out a little bit over these smaller threads. So the fixed threads are righty-tighty. And you can just grab an old chain whip, wrap it around these cogs, put this guy on here, and you want this to be damn tight. Sometimes I'll put this on the ground and stomp on this a little bit. It's a bit much. You want people to come off again someday too, but you don't want it to come loose while you're using it. Because you're going to be, with a fixed gear, you do a lot of skip stops where you're riding along and you're trying to shed some speed, so you hop. Just do a little tiny bunny hop and lock your knees so you land with the back wheel frozen. You skid for half a second and then it forces you to keep rolling. And you do 2 or 3 skid stops and you shed a whole bunch of speed. You can also do full-on skid stops where you de-weight the back wheel by standing up on the pedals, putting your crotch as into your stem as you possibly can. So you do like a handstand on your bars with all your weight right up on your stem, and you lock your legs. You get all your weight off the back wheel, so it's easier to lock up and skid. That'll shed a whole bunch of speed for a second, and then eventually it'll catch up with you, and your pedals start moving again, so you have to be ready to keep going with them, even though you've got your knees locked and you're trying to stop. You also do a whip stop, which is the same as a skid, but you whip the bike to the side while you're doing it, and that sheds a ton of speed instantly. That's like going from like 20 miles an hour to like 2 miles an hour instantly. I'm pretty heavy. This really works better for light people, especially the easier gear ratios. I'm heavy and rode a heavy gear ratio. I had a hard time with skids, and I could not do a whip at all. I was really good at skip stops, and I always run a front brake on all of my bikes to shed a bunch of speed and slow way down. You can also just kind of stand and put all your body weight on your pedals, sort of pushing back. So your pedals as they come around are really having to work against your body weight. I was good at that too. Just put weight slow way down, skip stops, shut a bunch of speed, putting all my weight, just sort of standing on the pedals to slow way down using the front brake. Yeah, fixed gears are crazy. So here's some lock rings. So you gotta lock this cog on, otherwise when you go and do skids and skips and put weight on it, this thing's gonna come loose. Every time you stand on the bike, it's gonna retighten. Every time you try and slow yourself down, it's gonna loosen. And that usually just mangles and destroys these threads. You'll find old fixed gear wheels all the time with all these threads just destroyed. Then you can flip them over and run them as free wheels, but that's no fun. So these lock ring threads are reverse threaded. So you're tightening this thing against the fixed cog. So it's lefty-tighty, not righty-tighty, to try and help them hold it in place and try to keep that cog from coming loose. Ooh, ah. And then you need some sort of hook spanner. There's a lot of different ones, bottom bracket ones and fixed ones. I like to find one that fits the cog. So that fits a little goofy, it's a big gap. Let's try this one. Ooh, this one fits pretty nice. I'm going to cinch it all the way down. Now this one I really am going to put on the ground and push on hard. I do not want this coming loose. If it comes loose, everything comes loose, your threads get destroyed. Putting it all the way on. Putting it against my knee or against a door frame so you can stomp on it. But I'm just gonna keep pushing. I don't want to go so tight to strip the thread, so pretty dang tight. We gotta air this thing up. I think this held air. I think they had air and I got it. It's been a year, it's only rather flat, I think. To really, sometimes these valves just want to push up and not let the head get on, so I really pushed down right where the valve is to really get it sticking down as far as possible and actually get this pump on enough. These are 32s. No, they're 28s. Oh, hey, that's even better. For frame clearance and stuff. Trying to eyeball down here and get equal gaps between the frame dimples and the tire on both sides. Make it about as straight as possible. Just gonna lightly tighten it down for now. Barely grabbing. Then we're gonna fit the chain, size the chain's gonna be a little bit loose. We'll loosen this back up and pull it backwards to get the chain taut. See the wheel straight and the chain taut. How's this bike looking now? It's already looking cooler, right? The gloss black with the white Originate logos, white Pinarello logos. I am digging, man, digging. I want it to match, so I'm gonna line it up. Oh, the Originate logo is made in such a way where it looks like it's lined up either way. Kind of gator skins of the logo on both sides. The rims of the sticker on both sides, so it doesn't matter. I can slap this guy on either way and it's technically matching, facing the right direction. So I'm just sort of holding the wheel up, trying to make it straight, holding it up in center. The front of the tire, you can see this rib line on it, looks like it's dead straight. Now a pro tip is these track nuts have textured little teeth to grab your fork. Sometimes you go tighten them down, the little teeth will walk and it'll pull the whole wheel down or crooked. So I like to do it just very gently on both sides a few times. Hopefully it's digging in and not walking. If your bike's being a real drag, I can put it on the ground and put all my body weight down on the stem, pushing down all my force down through both dropouts into that hub, and I can reach down and cinch it up and cinch it up. Doing it in the stand will usually make it crooked. So sometimes you really have to do it on the ground, because if your front wheel's in crooked, then your bike's going to ride crooked, it's going to pull, you let go of the bars and they're going to whip around, you're going to wreck. It is not what I call a good time. Oh yeah, the brakes at plenty low. Oh, we're a chain, pedals, cable and housing, and a saddle away from this thing being boss. So boss. I think my chain line's gonna be a little cray-cray. Let's play with the chain line checker. So this is the Park CLG2 chain line gauge. I don't know if they make this new. They still pop up once in a while at garage sales and random stuff. So this side pinches the cog or ring, and that side moves out to hit the other side. So you can see how off your chain line is. So I'm pinching this up. Oh, oh, you're so evil. You're so evil. You're so evil. So I pinch the cog in the back. It shoots out straight. This guy shoots out dead straight where a chain ring would be for the inner side of these cranks. This thing really needs like a 4 or 5 millimeter narrower bottom bracket. Ugh. Let's try it. Back here on this guy as well. Ew. Ew. Back here it looks like it's shooting off like a centimeter. That's wild. Should I switch this bonge to like a 3814? Should I double check the gear inch calculator? See what that would be like? It won't look as cool. It's cool having a big ring up here, you know? Makes you look tough. 3/30 seconds. Chain's pretty flexible. No, this guy back here is a 17. I really like to have these one tooth apart. I don't want to switch them. If someone really wants to deal with this in the future, they can get a sealed cartridge bottom bracket. It's like a 107 or a 110 or something. And solve all of those problems. I don't care. It's close enough. Blah, blah, blah. I'm going to see if I can find a chain. I think I got a bunch of chains in that last big score that were all cut slightly shorter, probably for single speeds. And they all looked brand new. I measured them all with the chain tool checker. I threw away anything that had wear. So let's see what I got. Alright, here's a pile of chains. This chain looks long. Oh yeah, this is like a good 4 or 5 inches too long. This is about perfect. I'm going to pop out this much chain, put this in, we'll have to move the wheel back just a few millimeters to actually cinch it up. And push on until there's about equal amount sticking through. It's going to be way too tight. Guys say you're supposed to lube this and just move it up and down over and over and over again. It will never come free that way. You're never supposed to grab it, move it side to side. But I absolutely always do. And when I check it, it's still got more pins showing on the outsides than all the other plates. It is totally fine. I've never had one break. Not in a zillion years. I'm sure guys have, but most of the time when people break stuff and say it's not legit, it's more of them operating error, not really know what they're doing, not really double checking. So people like to always blame, especially people buy brand new parts and then have a problem, they always want to blame the parts and not their own knowledge or skills or patience. So just really eyeball things, really double check them. Don't just assume anything's fine. It never, ever, 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 ever is. I'm going to pull this guy back, try and get this wheel lined up and straight. Gently cinch this down. I'm going to pull this side. The wheel's a little meh. Pull this side. Try to get that wheel straight again. It's also going to make the chain tighter. I don't know. It seems like it deflects more than a ½ inch to me. But then you actually have to go around and check the whole thing because now I got a crazy loose spot. It's a little tighter. Crazy loose spot. So what I want to do is find so loose. Now track guys like them loose because it won't wear out your teeth. You're riding on the street, you do not want your chain to pop off. What I like to do is find the tightest spot. That's the tightest spot? That's about the tightest spot. We'll try and tighten it to the tightest spot with our ½ inch of deflection. Push the wheel, sort of pull the chain back, make it a little tighter. Cinch it down, we'll move this other side. Come on, bud, get tight. Looking for that even fit down between the bottom bracket though. We still got a good bit of deflection. It's looser, looser, looser. We don't want any tight spots. You get one spot where it's so tight you can barely move the chain. Every time you pedal around comes a tight spot, it's just going to dig in and start mangling this tooth. It's just going to wear out and destroy your stuff. And it's fairly straight. It's got more than a ¼ inch gap up here. It's fine. Oh yeah, fixie bro. When you work on fixie gear, there's nothing in the world stopping this chain and momentum. You do not stick anything in here. Don't stick your finger in here. It's not like a freewheel. You stick your finger in, like it'll slow down or stop. You get your finger in between this chain and any of these cogs, and it's going to act like a buzz saw. All this momentum is acting like a power tool. It will cut you down to the bone or take your finger right off. I've seen people do it. I've explained that to people, and literally had not believed me, go to test it and stick their finger in there and cut themselves on the bone. So be careful, fixie bros. I got some BMXy platform pedals. They have slots in them, big slots. They have like little spikies to hold your feet on. The slots are great for these. I got these the last swap meet for free. I bought some other stuff from the guy. End of the day, they were still there. He's like, just take them. Brand new, cheap Express bike pedal straps, mountain bike, a pair. So they're adjustable Velcro straps for your toes. So instead of using an old style track pedal or touring pedal and a big steel toe cage or some weird clipless nonsense that's going to pop out while you skid, you can run these through and then adjust them to Velcro to fit your shoes exactly how you want. I like them loose enough to be able to slip in and out, but fairly tight so I can do my 6 skids. We probably pressure back in your left foot and raise up as hard as you can with your right foot, or vice versa. Some people can skid ambidextrous. I cannot. I used to try and practice. I was using these on a different bike and I took them off. They're nice. I did lose one pedal washer, so I have to go dig through my pedal washers and find it. I found it like 5 times and kept putting it back with the pedals and it kept falling off. I wonder if it's in the drawer. Maybe I'll go look. Oh, more editing. Ha! It totally was. I gotta get this bike done. Put a little grease in them pedal threads. Gotta get this bike done and this video edited. I don't know if I have time. My friend Avery's coming over and we're gonna start on his hybrid and make a sick 1x city bike. I need the space in my phone for filming his sick hybrid build. Not enough hours in the day. I sold some wheels on Instagram. Gotta finish packing them up and run them down to the old UPS out of groceries. Go get those. There's just not enough hours in the day sometimes. So this one is the righty. Move this up where it's easy to get at. Righty goes righty tighty. Left goes lefty tighty. Just starting it by the thread and gently moving it around. This is way easier than trying to thread them in if they're not too tight. Oh, yeah. Get cinched, bro. Let's check out this strap. So it goes opening. The top's double layered. So we're gonna fish this dude through. Come on, openings. Your openings gotta be big enough to fit through. And these are, it's almost like they were designed for this. You can get cooler straps. These are just like free, cheapy Chinese ones I got. I'm sure they're like $5 or $10 new. My friend has a business here in town called Black Star Bags. And he makes some sick ones that's custom, whatever you want, and colors, and reflective, and shiny, and they were super cool for a while. He's a big bike polo guy. He was big into fixed gears. We used to hang out and drink beer on the porch of his Black Star Bags all the time after hours, next to my favorite vegan bar. We were very Portland hip. We'll have to adjust them to fit our shoes just right. That's probably close enough for now. Whatevs, whatevs, whatevs. We are strapped up. So I got one brand new stainless steel barrel-headed flat bar cable. My little cable kit, little ferrules. Now we have to make a serious question, a real decision. Do we want to go a little piece of white housing? Or some black housing with silver in it? Ugh. This little part of me wants to do the white housing. Just a little teeny bit. But it's too cheesy. I actually really like this Jaguar with the bright chrome silver on it. I think that actually looks better with this bike. So that's what we're doing. Beautiful. It's on there pretty tight, but a little bit loose. In case we gotta, move stuff or change stuff or what have you. I did it on the left side because that's what people want. Left front, it's more normal. Any bike I build for myself, I always do it on the right side only. I like my right hand. And I like to be able to signal because, we live in heavy traffic and I'm not a complete a-hole like a lot of people. Should I just leave the stock seat post in? I don't know. God, maybe I just should. Maybe I just should. Sure wish I had a slightly scruffy gloss black one. I guess we gotta get those pads set up where we want them. See the rim moving, so it's not centered. There is a centering bolt, but I just usually don't like messing with that and just sort of center it the hard way. Come on, hard way. We'll get a whole break. Let's get this one adjusted where we want it. It's pretty dope. Yeah, that moved a lot. It's way nose down in the front, way too high in the back. And I overcompensated. And that looks good. Close enough. Could be a millimeter or two higher. What else? I'm going to drop some lube on all these pivot points on this brake. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Want to be quiet, smooth. But we don't want so much it drips down onto the tire or onto the braking surface. Dope, 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 dope. I did see one seat post that was kind of flat black with a gloss black head. Oh, let's party. Let's party. So I have some options for saddles. I've got an all-white Originate saddle. Is that too much? I feel like white saddles really need white bar tape. Doesn't actually look like too much. Does it look like too much? I don't know. Okay. I got generic sub saddle. It's got a silver line and a gloss black line on it. Does that look like too much? That looks pretty subtle. It kind of blends. I don't like it. I got this oval 200 generic saddle off of something. It's all black. It's got gloss black rails, white logos. I think this would be acceptable. But here's one I probably don't want to put on there. I want to save for something even cooler. Here's a Physique. It definitely looks like it has fancy rails. It is black with a little silver and a little white. That's the right saddle. Wah, wah, wah. Put this guy on. It's gloss black head with a matte black body. Wish it was all cheapo and gloss black. I think I'm just going to leave this silver seat post. I wish I had something different, but I think it'll be a fine. What? About level with that top tube. Up a degree. You want your saddle up a degree, not down 20 degrees. That's amateur. It's doing the opposite of what you think it's doing. Try your saddle nose up a degree or two, and then try lowering your post to the correct height. Instead of putting your post all the way up and your saddle nosed all the way down to try and make up for it. Doesn't make you fast, just puts all the pressure on your palms and your wrists. Starts to get nerve and blood problems. We need grips. You never do any grips or bar tape without washing your hands. So, wash my hands. These grips not last me. A lot of stuff I bought. I have lots of these ESI grips. I have bigger ones, longer ones. I have every color but black. Got these black ones. They're kind of short, maybe a little bit skinnier. They're technically mountain bike grips, but these are like the shortest, skinniest ones. They're real silicone. They go on bars pretty easy. They come off and go back on, and they're reusable. And they clean right up with just soap and water because they're silicone. They just wipe right down like they're brand new. They got these sick ESI bar plugs that only like to fit in really expensive, really thin bars. So I might have to cut them down some, do little trimmings. That's fun. Fixie kids used to cut their bars down so short, so you couldn't get a brake lever on, you could barely get a grip on. I don't care about that. If someone wants to do that, these come off real easy and go back on real easy, and they can do that themselves. Kind of fixie bars are getting wider and wider as more and more mountain bike guys are into it. Now the trick with these modern silicone and other tight grips is to use your air compressor and get the little nozzle under here and turn it on and blow air in so these kind of puff up and make a cushion of air and slide right on. I don't have an air compressor. I've never done it that way. I like just a little bit of rubbing alcohol. I do mean a little teeniest bit. It evaporates pretty quick. And then I try and wiggle them on. If they go on too strong or too easy, they're too much rubbing alcohol. I'm going a little bit hard. A little hard because you want them to be able to dry. That rubbing alcohol stays wet in there, they'll never kind of dry and get sticky. There's some bit of some other grip still in there. Can we get it out? I don't know. Hey, sure could. I got a soft plastic dead blow hammer. I got a grip. ESI, I'm lining the logos up to look pro. This looks way too big. So I'm gonna just kind of trim this first one down a little bit, get it started. And the rest will probably bend right into shape. Probably. Most likely. Maybe. Haha! And barely mangled it at all. A lot of people tell you you don't need bar end plugs. You do. This thing's a giant hollow needle. If you wreck a pothole and this thing whips around, it can impale you as if you're piercing your ear. So, you know, just use them. They're not like uncool. They're not heavy. Tight. Just got to do a double check on the headset adjust to make sure the stem's straight. Put some fresh grease in here. Clean off the seat post a little bit. Make sure everything's adjusted where I want it, and it's ready for a test drive, because fixed gears build fast. Couple hours. I have to adjust these toe straps probably. I'll put on real shoes, test ride it. I'm not brave enough to ride fixed gears and slippers and things that fall off easy. I don't know what looks good. A little bit lower. See if that looks straight. This is how I like to straighten my saddle. Really eyeball it right down the tube. Oh, that's perfect to me. It's a little off, you can come over and just pop, 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 pop. Tight. Oh, you're a big boy. Big boy, I like it. Same in the front, line the stem up with the wheel. It's cockeyed this way a little bit. So hard to tell. They make like little laser straighteners you can put on your bar. It like shoots a laser line down your, when you put on your stem, it'll shoot a laser line down your tire. If I was a fancy boy, but I'm not. I usually go test ride it and then sort of ride hands-free, and you can be like, oh, the bike tracking, my bars look super crooked. Which they do right now. So try that again. Just like a degree. I have astigmatism, so it's basically impossible for me to get this. Basically, on the first try. Sometimes I nail it. 2-finger. Dope. It's about where I want it. It's about the angle I want. You never put your brake lever up. I know I talk this all the time, but everyone does that. Really, you're riding, you should barely be able to see that brake lever poking out from under the bar. So you have a natural, straight wrist. None of this nonsense. None of that nonsense. Nothing like this. Natural, straight wrist. Have your fingers be right on that lever. It's still super smooth. Put it sideways and grab the brake. Rock back and forth, see if you can feel any play at all. If you do it front ways, you'll just feel the brake flexing. You can also feel a loose hub or something doing it this way, but I want no play. Hold that bottom cup basically in place. I'll do it this way so I can hold the bar with my forearm. And you gotta find leveragey ways that work for you. Ooh, that's loosey-goosey, baby. Try to lock this top nut down to this top adjustable cup. Just like you're doing a hub or bottom bracket. Still want to mess with these things. Uh-oh, is this all stripped out? No, they're Torx. Someone put Torx in here. The fools. Do I have torque stuff? I do. It's not super easily accessible because I never use it. I'm not a disc brake guy. Woohoo! Well, could put these on upside down. No, that doesn't look any better. Put them on all kinds of wrong. No, nothing's better. I'm just gonna put the torque bolts back in. At least you won't scratch yourself on them. I'm gonna go get a couple of bolts to plug those dudes up. Put some shoes on. Adjust these straps to fit my stupid fat feet, my stupid fat shoes. And we will test drive this bad boy.
Okay. Go.
Well, I just went, up and down the street a few times. The gearing feels great for being on totally flat land. This strap's a little too tight, the other one's a little too loose, so it felt awkward to do skids. But I busted out a couple little skids, a couple little skip stops. So it felt good. I might play with it, ride it some more, but I think that's enough for this video for now. So thanks for watching this Pinarello fixed gear build.